I said, most of us would, because Kenny is very vocal about Daryl being his best friend, your best friend, and being part of the success that he and Ellie had. I was wondering then when LA and Kenny decide to sort of stop doing the deal and go full time into production. What were your thoughts? Did you think, okay, this is good, or like, oh, why are we giving up the deal, or what? How did you think?
You know, I didn't really have a thought. I know I loved writing and making the records that we were making when we weren't touring with the deal. I understood the philosophy of, okay, well, we could stay at home because Jimmy and Terry started doing it from the time.
Yeah.
You know, they had, I guess Prince had fired him, however that went down.
Yeah.
But they were being producers and writers, staying at home and making more money than being out there on the road. You know what I mean? And so LA and Kenny developed the same thought process. Goes, hey man, we could stay at home and make these records, and we can do this. We don't have to be out there. And I just went along with whatever. I was like, hey man, whatever you guys want to do, as long as I'm part of the team, okay. You know, so it proved well because there was so much work. I mean, I actually didn't want to be a producer. Oh. They made me be a producer. I didn't want to be a producer. I just wanted to be a songwriter. And one night, I think we were working with Karen White on Superwoman. And Elliot Kenny goes, hey man, so you need to finish the ad libs with Karen because we got to go across town and work with Pebbles. He said, you've been sitting here all this time, you know what to do. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. He goes, I mean, you've been watching us do this for like forever. It's like, get up here and finish the song. And so they left and walked out, and it was me and Karen. And like the last half of Superwoman, I did the ad libs with Karen. And from that point, okay, go over here and work with the boys. Okay, you need to go over here and work with Paula Abdul. Okay, you need to go over here and work with Johnny Gill because we're going to be over here working with Sheena Easton. I'm like, okay, so I was kind of thrown in the fire, but it was the best way to learn. And I had sat there and watched them. I said, well, I'll just do what they do. And so that's what I've always done. Even to this day, I still make my records. I always say, what would Kenny say? Would Kenny say it's good enough? Would Kenny say it's flat? Would Kenny say it's sharp? Would Kenny say okay? So I still use that same philosophy when I'm writing or producing today. It's like, what would Kenny say? Would Kenny think this is good?
Wow.
You know, so that's how I learned. I literally was thrown in the fire, but I'd been sitting there. This is kind of like watching a person do something, and then all of a sudden they ask you to do it. Go, okay, I probably could do it, you know, but I didn't want to be a producer. I thought it was too much responsibility, you know,
wow.
And, but it ended up helping my life because I was introverted, and they were like, okay, if you're going to produce, you got to talk to people. And I'm going, uh-oh, okay. So I would have to communicate and tell them what I wanted. So that's what brought me out of my shell to be able to open up and tell Johnny Gill what I needed, tell Paula Abdul what I needed, tell Aretha Franklin, this is what I need. I couldn't be shy about it. You know, so Aretha's the only one that scared me, but other than her, I was good. She's the only one that scared the hell out of me, but you know, she was sweet. I just was so intimidated. I was like, what am I going to tell Aretha Franklin to do? This is crazy. You know, I couldn't even believe I was sitting there, you know, directing her, you know, it's crazy. But it helped me. It helped me a lot.
I mean, okay, but you know, people would, you know, because we do see and hear a lot about Aretha Franklin, but what was it like when you were in the studio? And I think I heard Jermaine Dupri say that he was recording her and he was just listening. And then she said, aren't you going to tell me what to do? And she got upset that, you know, and he was like, well, but you're Aretha, you should know. But what was it for you having to record her, the queen?
It was, the good thing was the first time I went with Kenny. Kenny and I worked with her together on a song called Willing to Forgive, a really nice song that we wrote. So I kind of got a little acclamation with Kenny being there. So then later on, Clive Davis called me and says, hey, Aretha wants to work with you. And I'm going, she wants to work with me?
Wow.
Like without Kenny? He goes, yeah, she loves, I sent Clive a demo of a song that she loved. And I go, wow, okay. And so I went to Detroit by myself, and I was really nervous because like Jermaine is like, well, you know, it's Aretha and she should know what to do, but you still have to guide them through your song or what it is that you're producing. But you don't have to do a lot. You know, once you kind of give her a couple of little things that you're looking for, then she totally like I said, that's something that's just not taught. It's natural. And she gives it to you where you end up sitting there getting caught up listening.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
damn, this sounds so good. Okay, I guess we're done. And she knows when it's done. She'll take the headphones off. She'll go, okay, Daryl, you got it. And I go, okay, thank you, Miss Aretha. Okay. She knows that it's good, and she's right. And then maybe later she'll come back and go, I want to fix one little part. I want to fix that one line. Wow. And I go, okay, Aretha, we can fix it. But we ended up becoming really good friends. And I think working with somebody on that level really helped me, helped my confidence for one. And, she respected me and I respected her, of course. So that really helped me, working with people like her and Elton John, these people that I idolized when I was in high school. To be in the same room with them was like, that's crazy to me. It's like, how did I get here? This doesn't even seem right. you
wow.
know. Yeah. But great experience. That's probably the greatest experience, is working with Aretha Franklin to me, just overall. Not a big hit records, but just the experience of being around someone like her, like Elton, that had already done so much. There's nothing you're going to do that's going to outdo what they've done. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was really, really great experience. But I'm so glad I got to work with her. I'm so glad I got to work with her.
With Aretha, was this before the Waiting to Excel soundtrack or after?
This was after.
Okay.
I want to say it was after. I'm bad with dates. Kenny's better with dates than me.
Because you would have seen her with you. It was the first time seeing her at when you were working on the song with the.
I'm trying to think. I can't remember. That's a good question. You have to probably look that one up.
Okay. Yeah, but when you did tell Kenny that Clive wanted you to record it, did you have to let him know that?
No, I just told him. He goes, "Oh, that's cool." I mean, he was always happy for me. He was very supportive. Oh no, you'll be cool. Because he was always off doing something, and I was always happy for him. So he was always, happy for me if I got a call like to work with Aretha or with Elton, because I didn't usually get those calls. Those are the calls that, he would get. So, no, he was always happy for me for whatever it was that I would get to work on by myself.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. Yeah.
When they decided to relocate to Atlanta, did you think about, no, let's stay in LA or let's move back home, or what was your thoughts?
No, like I said, man, they could have said we're moving to Oklahoma, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like I said, I was going wherever the team was going. It didn't matter, and I mean that honestly, because it was always just about writing songs, and we can write songs anywhere in the world. So when they said Atlanta, I was like, why Atlanta? I was like, just pack your stuff. I'm like, okay. So literally it was like, just packed up my little apartment and, I moved when they said it was time to move and set up shop. And one of the best things that could have ever happened,
in those early days. So if you think about the like Superwoman or Secret Rendezvous or even The Boys, how when you think of his LA, his Kenny, and here's yourself, the vision of labor, who does what parts of the song before it's what we as the audience would hear and say, wow.
Together, all three of us. Kenny was always the idea. He always had an idea. And he knew if I liked that idea that I could help him connect the dots. And I actually love doing that. I liked being a co-writer. I liked being a co-pilot. And I would just sit back and just watch him and listen. I go, okay, I know where this can go. He goes, you got something? I go, yeah, try this. Okay, yeah, I like that. But
what does that look like? Connecting the dots. What does that look like? So we can.
It's almost like, he always has a melody and he always has a story. And so I always know how to write the story. I always know how to help him write the story, how to get it there, how to explain it to people in a record form. Because, you only have 4 minutes to tell the story. So you got to be able to break it down, make it clear. Does everybody understand it? You can't be having all these different verses. So I kind of knew how to chop it to get to the story that I knew he was ultimately trying to get to, And so that's kind of where my craft came in, was just sitting there and watching him put it together, then go, okay, I see where you're going. Now let me jump on board and let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do that. He goes, yeah. I like that. Okay, I like that. So that's usually the way that it worked, and LA was a really good producer as well. He had really good ears, and he was a good vocal producer. And of course, he was a better drum programmer than he was a drummer. I mean, he could program the shit out of drums. Like, he was really good. So he really bring the songs to life. And so it was really a good combination. Even though I always felt Kenny didn't need anybody. That's how I always felt. But together, I always felt like we were really good, like really good. But Kenny's great by himself. So it's one of those things.
I mean, from us from the outside, and I can see. So by the time in the 80s, I was at that time I was going to boarding school in Nigeria. So I remembered some of the songs like the Karen White, the Paul Abdul, when they all would come to a crossover to Nigeria. And in Nigeria in that time, the songs that were big were the party type of tracks. So so the drumming of LA, so you could always hear an LA and Babyface production. You could tell the production, even from the Don't Be Cruel stuff, and then you've got the lyrics, and you can always hear Kenny doing the background vocals. So
we did a lot of backgrounds. I did a lot of backgrounds. I wouldn't write my name on it. Kenny wouldn't. He said, "Oh, just go do it. We won't put your name on it." Go, okay, good.
Why was that?
Well, because we didn't want to discredit the singer a lot of times. And if we wrote it, we knew how it was actually supposed to go and how it could be sung. We had a way of doing things with a rhythm or a feel. Kenny was great at making it feel right. And then we would bring like a singer in, goes, damn, it just don't feel the same, because we had written it. You know what I mean? And then for them to come in, they couldn't feel it like how we felt it. And so a lot of times Kenny would lay a pad. I'd even go sing parts, but it wasn't about us getting the credit for it. It was about making the record feel right. So it was like, okay, well, go just do it real quick. And it wouldn't take us any time to do it because we had been singing it and writing it. It was ours. We knew how it was supposed to go, So that was important in our records. It was very important, I always felt, to lay a foundation that the singer could follow to make sure that it felt good, because it had to feel right. They can sound good, but if it doesn't feel good, it loses a lot. You know what I mean? So that was important to us from the foundation up. Backgrounds had to be right. It had to feel right before you laid anything else on top of it,
Hey everyone, I want to thank you for being part of Halftime Chats. This new update is really about our membership, and I'm really excited to be able to fully launch the membership page. There will be things like full interviews from day one. As soon as the interview drops, you get access to it without any ads on it. There'll be some exclusive member-only videos that will just be some behind-the-scenes stuff and some other things that we will never be broadcast. For some members, you can be able to get actually 2 interviews, because I do have a backlog of almost 7 or 8 interviews that I don't even know when I'm going to be able to broadcast them. So you're able to get at least some of those up front, and some just behind the scenes stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that I have never been able to talk about or release. For anyone else, the videos will still be the same. Over a week or a week and a half or 2 weeks, depending on how long it is. So everything stays the same. The polls stay the same. The community chats, the community stuff stays the same. But I think with the membership stuff, I'm able to add a little bit more and invest a lot more time and energy in really supporting the members. So I do hope you come on that ride with me. I appreciate the support, and this will just help me continue to invest in taking things to the next level. Take care.